to Molana and to all the participants. Welcome to tonight's session, and I hand over to Molana. Shukran.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. And once more, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah to all our participants, inshallah. Hajj Maqbul Mabrur to those of us that have families there, but generally also for all the Hujjaj that are there, once in a lifetime opportunity, mashallah. And then also belated Eid Mubarak. Tomorrow is still Ayyam Tashriq. We are still doing our tasbeehs after every salah, mashallah, and to keep the momentum going of the days of sacrifice and qurbani. And one of the reasons we did the qurbani, whoever did manage, was to become closer to Allah. لِتَقَرُّبْ إِلَى اللَّهِ. The main reason somebody gave another explanation. It's also it's not just slaughtering the animal, but it is also slaughtering or removing things in our nafs that are contraindicated for our personalities, for our character. I mean, we're all susceptible to mistake, forgetfulness, lies, cheating, robbing. Every human being is created min al-khata wa nisyan. Every human being is created with khata, mistakes, sins, nisyan, forgetfulness. But of course, we are then given the absolute universal standard of what behavior should be, what character should be, what personality should be, what akhlaq should be. And that's in the person and personality of our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. But today's theme is more about Hajj. Some people may be thinking, but now Hajj is almost done basically. People are going to be on their return in a day or two or more. And but that's the point. You see, the Islamic pillars are universal and are immutable and are infinite in that sense. So yes, it's good to talk about the themes of the month in its time and in its appropriate place, but there's no harm also talking about it. And then also our discussion on Hajj today, short and sweet, um, uh, is relevant not just for people who have intended to go for Hajj, those that have arrived there today freshly with the most recent of Hajj today, as in these 5 days that they have spent there, mashallah, but also for us who are intending for the future, but even those that have gone for Hajj and have perhaps lost a little bit of that noor and that effervescence and that cleanliness of mind, heart, soul, and body, because that's what really happens at that time. It's a total cleansing of our 4 dimensions, and I have to sometimes ad nauseum repeat that what is our essence. The reason I emphasize it, it's also a sunnah of the Quran to repeat and to emphasize things. Of course, human beings take it to another level, like parents nag their children to death. Wives and husbands nag each other to death. I can hear somebody saying, no, 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 we men don't nag so much. The women nag us more than we nag them. But from my experience, I think men is starting to take over as well. Nevertheless, it's also a self-reflection. It's a self-analysis. Even when we say you, we are really including ourselves. And we are all on a journey. We're all on a journey. There's not a single one of us who has completed the journey, and we won't even know the true effects of this journey of life from the time we were blown in to the wombs of our mothers. And that is وَنَفَخْنَا فِيهِ الرُّوحِ. Allah commands his system to I'm sorry for that. It's the month of postnasal drip and flus and all that. Take precautions. Prevention is better than cure, and take out all those old remedies. I think in Cockney we say kaho, and I think in the Gujarati and Memon languages, but it's that basic ginger and honey and black pepper, I think, cloves, yeah, ginger, black pepper, cloves, and some other masalas that they mix up and boil for a while and then brew it basically, and then it's extremely effective, and it's a very comforting and a warm drink, especially for the cold and for the sinuses and for the flus, inshallah. uh, Garlic, I think, is also one of the things which are prescribed in the tib, meaning the natural medical approach to things. So let's go back to the word Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأتم الحج والعمرة لله, and complete the Hajj and the Umrah for the sake of Allah. So the niyyah normally is نويت الحج لله سبحانه وتعالى, or نويت الحج والعمرة لله. I intend to visit in a particular methodology the Hajj with all its manasik, and of course it is fard, once in a lifetime, for those who have the ability, financial, spiritual, economic, physical. If they have the ability, then it becomes fard upon one. But of course you still make a niyyah at any time, because then you are in a state of niyyah, and you don't seem to have the means, but you made a firm niyyah. And there's the key word. Out of all of that tremendous um, journey and things, and the preparation and the specifics and the fiqh around it, understanding, and the faraid and the wajibat and the sunnah muakkada and the sunnah ghair muakkada and the nawafil, all of those technicalities, believe me, hinge on one word: niyyah. Because actually the word hajj, the real meaning of the word hajj is intention, qasd. In the Arabic language, the word hajj means qasd. Qasd means a firm intention. When you make ana aqsud, yeah, in Arabic, even in Urdu or even in Persian, they say qasd, or qasdan kiya unone. He did it, purposefully, deliberately, clearly, with full intent and purpose. That is the meaning of the word Hajj. So that's the key, actually. In the word Hajj is the key of one's own deeper inner reflections and ability to formulate intention. Because if you don't start with intention, because that's all we need to do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His infinite mercy, by the standard of His glorious Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, has said, you know what? You make intention. You don't fulfill intention. The fulfilling of intention is upon Allah. And the very first hadith of Bukhari Sharif, the famous, most authentic of the ahadith collections by Janab Muhammad Hadrat Muhammad Ismail Bukhari, rahmatullah alayh. He went to great lengths, and we would call that expert and qualified and research scholarship of the best. Because you'll hear people say, oh, no, man, we don't follow hadith, most of the hadith have been corrupted and fabricated. Now, when people speak like that, they're actually revealing their utter ignorance. Because if they had to study the principles of usulul hadith and the tarikhul hadith and the history and the asmaul rijal, that means you study all the narrators, all the reporters of hadith, all the collectors, anybody to do with it, you go through there. I mean, that in itself, Allahu Akbar, is a science on its own. So Imam Bukhari didn't just from his mind say, oh, I remember this, so I heard that, I heard there, or that's because I think he was a tabi'i, meaning I think he did get some of the sahabis. He was not a sahabi, but he could have been a tabi'i. He may have received, and even if he wasn't, there is a chain of narration of hadith from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course there is criteria, because any hadith which in spirit or in essence is contradistinctive to the verses of the Quran cannot be an authentic hadith, for example. So there's many safety valves And these people gave their entire lives to the dedication and authentication, and then of course the collation of ahadith. So those people who just summarily just discount things, they must be extremely careful. In fact, the fact that the Quran is by the Sunnah of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who told you that the Quran that you're reading today and yesterday and you made khatam and the Hafiz memorizes and that we rehearse in the 27 nights of Ramadan? Who says that's authentic? It's printed by Taj Company from India. In fact, some of those Qurans do have a little bit of typographical and other errors because they rush sometimes the printing. The quality of the printing is bad. So who says that's the Quran? Well, you'll say, well, it's the Quran. Everybody says the Quran. Can't be wrong. Uh, well, my Ustad says the Quran. Who told you Ustad? He is Ustad, he is Ustad, he is Ustad, he is Ustad. And then, of course, there comes a time when you have to return all the referencing to Sayyidina Imam Uthman Ghani radiallahu anhu, the third Khalif of Islam, who took it upon himself to standardize. So the Quran we have is called the Uthmani standardized Quran. So what he did was he collected everything and that was written on bones and parchment and whatever other materials that were used. And then from the memories of the 125,000 Sahaba Kiram that were blessed with being the Sahabis, they, of course, many of them passed away. Many of them saw the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam once and went away to their villages or to their remote areas. But still, there was enough of them to cross-check when a verse was revealed. So the first hadith of Bukhari says, "Innamal a'malu bin niyat." Every single behavior, every act, every action, every behavior we behave, we do, we act out, is actually, the psychobiology of that is that it comes from an intention. So there's no action you do that is not got an intention. However, we can perhaps simplistically classify intention into two categories. One is deliberate, clear. As I'm sitting now, the adhan goes, Alhamdulillah, I am going to the mosque. I intend. You say it or you just think it. Oh, the azan is gone right in your heart. Right. Sorry, guys. Stop the FA Cup here. Stop this. Stop that. See you guys. I'm going to the mosque. I'm going for Isha. That is an intention. And because it's so firm and clear, Allah facilitates. He gets up. He moves. He makes wudu. Jumps into the car if the mosque is far. And he goes and he joins the congregation. All because of a firm intention. Now you can check yourself. The day you got a lukewarm intention, even uh, to I'm just checking Samir. Or why is my I'm just updating my Wi-Fi here quickly because I see I didn't realize it was on. I didn't realize it was on data. There, mashallah, now it's back on Wi-Fi. Yeah, because it says you have less than 29 megabytes. Okay, we're back. I've changed it to the Wi-Fi. We were out and just came 3 minutes before, so I didn't realize that the Wi-Fi wasn't connected. So the Wi-Fi is also here. She's connected, and the Wi-Fi is also connected. Mashallah. All right. So where were we? So every behavior, now even this day, what they call it, involuntary. We talk. Many of us talk with our hands and with our eyes and so forth. With these behavioralisms. So even that is a subconscious. The niyat is subconscious. It's like if somebody throws a stone at you, you won't say, right, nawaitu an, I make a niyyah that I'm going to block the stone. No. Just automatically Allah has given us that the brain senses the danger, sends the messages to the muscles in a split second faster than the traveling of light and sound, and as that missile is coming, you put your hand up, So it's, but it is an intention, because it is cranial, it is from the brain, it is psychochemical, and then it relates into actions. This is, of course, cleared by psychologists, and doctors have informed me that that's how it works. So imagine the first hadith of Bukhari from the lips of our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that every conscious or unconscious behavior is based on an intention. Subhanallah. So Hajj is the maximum uh, thing you can intend, in a sense, because there's a tremendous amount. It's a lifetime. You prepare, and then still before that, you prepare yourself and pack your bags and the tickets and visas and vaccinations. And, it's not as simple as the other pillars of Islam. It's a very tough pillar. And this year, given the, some people even passed on there in the, because of the heat and so on. And we make dua that all of them that have passed, Allah grant them without any accountability direct entrance to Jannah, inshallah ta'ala. And we make dua, Allah grant us a similar situation to, inshallah. So the whole thing of Hajj is qasd. Qasd means a firm intention. So you will notice all the things that you wanted to do. I'm going to do this tomorrow, inshallah. Now, if it's a lukewarm, inshallah, if it is just like a half-hearted intention, it's not going to happen. And it's not going to happen over and over and over and over. And a lethargy will set in, and it'll pull you back. You'll have to then double motivate you. Right. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I'm getting up now. I'm going to do that. But the minute Tahajjud is the perfect example. You want to get up, you want to something special, you need to make a special dua for your children or for this or for that. And it is the best time in which duas are accepted. But in the cold winter, the alarm goes off, you say just another few minutes. And it's a small jihad to get off and into the bathroom, cold floors, etc., etc. And then the water runs cold for a while, and then maybe the hot water comes up. So it's a jihad. So even at any point, whether it's a light action or a heavy action, if the intention is lukewarm, if the intention is cold, if the intention is unintended, you're going nowhere. Your life is going nowhere. Your work is going nowhere. Your ambitions are going nowhere. It's all based on the concept that Hajj so ably brings to us, that Hajj means firm intention, in fact. So, and then with that, all intentions. So rehearse and refer back to some of the things you intended to do or the ambitions you had. You'll notice, in fact, it's not because of other reasons that the lethargy or the circumstances mitigate against you. It is your own non-investment firmly and throwing it out firmly into the universe that is blocking you, in fact. So whenever you do anything now, make a very, very firm intention. Thereafter, if it doesn't happen, then Allah doesn't want it to happen. But if you are lukewarm, then you cannot expect it to happen either. And remember, our duty is the easiest. You just make a niyat. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this for that, or for myself, or for my children. I'm going to make salah. I'm going for Hajj. I'm going to give zakat. I'm going to do this. Do it firmly, and then you'll see Allah will place the cause and effect, because Allah is the creator of the niyat. He's the creator of fulfilling the niyat. He's the creator of the asbab, the causes and effects that are required to concretize your niyyah. So everything is with Allah. Nothing is with us. In fact, this is His mercy that He allows us to make good intentions, because no two ways. In 24 hours, we have a lot of bad intentions as well. You're a businessman, you see two opportunities. One is to make business, but the profit is less, the straight way. The crooked way, the profit is double almost. Very few people can resist, because we are in an economically stratified society where money is central to everything, and there's no harm in it, provided provided, like the hadith says, no harm in wealth, provided you have the fear of Allah in your heart. You see how that it becomes the leveler or the controller. But of course, we see how even in ancient pre-Islamic times, in Pharaoh's time, in Haman's time, in Qarun's time, how power corrupts and how absolute power corrupts absolutely. So absolute political power corrupts, absolute physical power, you're strong, that corrupts. Absolute material power, money power corrupts, because now you've got how the countries, how people like the United States and Israel use money to get their work done. So they corrupt the World Bank, they corrupt IMF, they corrupt the United Nations. They use these instruments to play out their own local and international agendas. But of course, what they don't know is makaru wa makar Allah, wallahu khairul makirin. They plan, Allah plans, and Allah is the best of planner. Look how the same word is used, makr, makaru, makar Allah, the same word. But when you use it for those who are against the system of Allah, there it means they are crookedly planning, they are conniving. And yet, makaru wa makar Allah, but then Allah plans. Now we cannot use the same negative connotation of makar by Allah. Why? Because Allah only plans in infinite mercy and goodness. Makaru wallahu khairul makirin. And Allah is the best of planners. So there's the evil planners, and this is the best of plans for goodness, inshallah. So the Hajj then, in fact, is really simply, totally, powerfully about intention. And if your intention is right, you'll see that every other thing comes right. And we do make bad intentions, we make crooked intentions, we make evil intentions. But Allah's mercy is so much that we ordinary people, if we intend evil but don't carry it out, if Allah's mercy intervenes and we just have it as an intention, I'm going to crook that one, I'm going to do that haram, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And if we don't do it, it means Allah's mercy has blocked it. And you make tawbah for having thought about it. Of course, if you make the intention of evil, you do the evil, Allah is still oft forgiving, most merciful, oft forgiving, most merciful, oft forgiving, most Ghafurur Rahim. So you still repent. Of course, the proof of repentance is that you try not to repeat that sin again, whatever it is, small or big as it were. And of course, we have all totally always, one of the best ways for barakat is to always make a lot of istighfar. That's also a central pillar of the Hajj. All the time, istighfar, reducing the ego. You go with two calico there, two pieces of cloth, toweling or otherwise. Yeah, a little, but they can get a better quality than people from poor countries. There's that, but no pockets, no pockets. You can't take golden chains and close it. You can't take diamond buttons and put it on. You can just you get a little bit, couple of meters. This toweling is 10 rand a meter. That is 20 rand a meter. That's 50 rand a meter. But you won't be able to put gold thread in it and this and that. That is the wisdom of Allah. That when you stand खड़े हर सफ में महमूद व अयाज न कोई बंद रहा न कोई बंद नवाज. Mahmud and Ayaz were the king and his servant. So all stand in the plain of Arafah or in the saf of the mosque, all stand in one line, the king and the servant. There is no Mahmud there, there is no Ayaz here. Yeah, you stand totally bereft of your ego in front of the grandeur and majesty of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is what our Hujjaj would have felt in Arafah, because they would have come to know themselves. Ma'arifah, Arafah, place to recognize yourself. And that's the other frightening aspect of Hajj. Your personality comes out. So if you don't prepare for Hajj, and if you don't make your tawbah, and if you don't make the intention to Then if you are angry, you'll become angry there. If you are a crook here, you'll try to be crooked there. So a person has to, watch we have to watch our qualities. And the way the Hajj is prescribed, that, even if a hair, so you can't even be violent, even when you comb. So in that 5 days, you don't even comb. Because people like me, when we comb, the hair falls out. So you don't even comb it then. You look wild, like overgrown. Very interesting. People were asking me, Maulana Saab, I'm in Dubai and I sent my son the money in Cape Town to do my Qurbani. And, there's a 1 day difference. That's the one thing. And then they haven't done it on Eid. They're doing it now. We're going out for lunch and supper for Eid and meeting this one and that one. And, I look like Robinson Crusoe and, overgrown. Can't I just cut it? I must look presentable. Subhanallah. That's the whole point of the ego there. You want to look nice. You want to be presentable. You want to look aesthetically pleasing. Arey bhai, arey bhen, exactly the opposite is needed. You must look unkempt. You must have it all overgrown. Your nails will come long for that 10 days. And only after your Qurbani is done, now you can go and. Yes, it's not a fard, but it is also to cut your ego. As you slaughter and cut your ego and cut your bad habits, so too you mustn't look smart and handsome and beautiful. You must look a little second hand, so that you rather look first class in the qabr and in Hashr and by Allah, inshallah ta'ala. Samir, how many minutes do we have?
Maulana, just under 3 minutes, just
Oh,
2 minutes.
excellent.
Yeah.
I'm aware that you've also got another appointment, so I think we'll end right there with the dua. Is anybody's wanting to volunteer to make dua, or should I say Bismillah?
Oh, Bismillah, Maulana.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأوا الفاتحة. Please, all of us recite with me Surah Fatiha, and then 3 quls, and then ask Allah by the barakat of the recited verses, by the barakat of this Ayam al-Tashriq, the most beautiful times in this month of Dhul Hijjah, to grant full and complete shifa and recovery, specifically to Zainul Abidin Abdul Wahab and all of us that are ill. We all got some or other illness, either emotional illness or physical illness or mental illness or spiritual illness. So even for that, we think we're happy and fine in that, but maybe there may be some other illness which is an imbalance. Sometimes it is a cleansing also, but we are also obliged on as the sunnah to give dawa, medicate, but also dua. So we come from that community who do things together, dawa and dua. I marvel at some of the doctors that I know, mashallah. They say Bismillah before they see their patients, and they say Bismillah before they put the stethoscope. They say Bismillah before they put the this thing. And of course, they say Bismillah when they take your 400 rand as well. But Mubarak to them, inshallah. We hope some of them adjust their practices not according to Western industrial Hippocratic Grecian systems, but rather to Islamic practice of medicine, inshallah. طيب. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين رب اغفر لي ولوالدي آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد آمين آمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم اللهم أوصل وبلغ ثواب ما قرأنا من القرآن بنيتي ونيتنا لا روح سيدنا وسندنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا روح أرواح جميع أنبياء كرام وأولياء كرام وعلماء كرام شهداء كرام أزواج وطاهرات كرام، والأرواح جميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات. يا الله يا رحمن الرحيم، ببركة ما تلون من القرآن وببركة هذه الأيام الحج وأيام التشريق، يا الله يا رحمن الرحيم، تقبل منا دعانا الخير ودعانا الشفاء، خصوصا بالخصوص الأخص لزين العابدين ابن عبد الوهاب إن شاء الله، لكي يشفي. يا الله يا شافي أنت الشافي، يا شافي أنت الشافي، يا شافي أنت الشافي، اشفي زين العابدين بشفاء كامل، بشفاء روحاني، بشفاء جسماني، عقلا وجسما قلبا وروحا. اللهم رب الناس أذهب البأس واشفي، أنت الشافي لا شفاء إلا شفاؤك، شفاء لا يغادر سقما. وكذلك لجميع مرضانا، اللهم اشفي جميع مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين يا الله يا رحمن، اللهم اشفيهم واشفئنا جميعا بشفاء كامل، بشفاء روحاني، بشفاء جسماني، عقلا وجسما قلبا وروحا. ويقول الله سبحانه وتعالى: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم، بفضل سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون، وسلام على المرسلين، والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, Amin. Jazakallah Mulana. Jazakallah to all the participants. Inshallah, we
Give
continue
our
next week.
salams, give our Wednesday night group salams to Zainul Abidin, and say we send our salams and dua of shifa.
Amin. We'll do that, inshallah. Jazakallah Mulana. Jazakallah everyone. Assalamu alaikum again.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.